they heard him. He had the opportunity to present the best case he could. He tried. They found it thoroughly unconvincing.
Yeah.
And it doesn't make up for what Jean Carroll endured, but there's certainly some sense of justice in it.
Katie, this is money for defaming Miss Carroll. There was a separate trial for the sexual assault. The price tag here is extraordinary, it seems to me, a layman. But I wonder if you can talk a little bit about your expectations for how Donald Trump actually coughs up this money, whether this is held in escrow, whether he seeks a loan, given what happened in previous civil trials.
Yeah, so, Alex, I like to say, don't sleep on the civil cases. People get very excited about the criminal cases, right? Because clearly the idea of Donald Trump in jail is pretty titillating. However, don't sleep on the civil cases, because those are the ones that hit him where it hurts him the most. Donald Trump defiantly thinks that he's not going to have to, serve a day in jail. And as of right now, he hasn't. But when it comes to paying up, he has had to pony up at least $5.5 to $5.6 million because he had to post that in order to appeal the first defamation trial victory that Jean Carroll secured against him. Now, whether he's able to pony up that same amount in terms of the verdict that just came in is left to be seen. But under the appropriate statutory strictures that exist, he's going to have to pay that entire amount in a bond plus interest to cover the duration of the appeal process. We do know that that first defamation trial that Jean Carroll brought and successfully won in 2023, that one's still winding its way through the appellate courts. And so that interest keeps on ticking along. But January 31st is right around the corner, and that is the date that Justice Engoron in the New York Attorney General's civil fraud trial is due to render his verdict on the remaining counts that are being brought by Letitia James. And as we know, she's seeking $370 million in disgorgement. So if Donald Trump thought that this $83.3 million today was a lot of money, he may be in for a rude awakening next week. But I also want to talk about very quickly, Alex, the following concept, which is this. When you saw what happened today with Donald Trump happen, it's because there was a foundation laid from that first trial, meaning he went in today and he could not, throughout the course of this trial, deny liability. And that was because of that original verdict. Same thing went on in the New York Attorney General's case. A finding of partial summary judgment was done by Justice Engoron. And so the determination that fraud had already been perpetrated against Trump, his sons and his business entities, he went into this latest trial against Letitia James with the same thing. And so because of that, and when you've seen that you've now had two juries come back against him, to Neil Katyal's point as well, right? There have been grand juries that have returned indictments. These have been people. These have been ordinary citizens that have been called to duty, that have been asked to serve in these capacities. They're the ones that have returned indictments, and now they're the ones that have returned these verdicts. And so these are the people, the ordinary citizens that are doing extraordinary work, that are telling Donald Trump, you're now being held accountable.
That's